Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today. So this is the event that we are having every Sunday. It is called Sunday Ceria. Ceria means cheerful, joyful. And then today we are having a very special guest from India, Dr. Khushboo Shah. Hello.
Hello. I
Hello,
forgot to,
Khushboo.
I'm so happy. I forgot to add doctor here because I pretty much forget that I am a doctor anymore. So
Dr. Khushboo Shah and also Dr. David Budi Wartono. Today we are
thank
going to discuss about talk to the entities intermediate class. It's beautiful class. I haven't joined yet, but I want to know more about this. So please, Dr. Khushboo and Dr. David, times are yours.
you. Thank you, Cisco. So where do we begin, Dr. David?
I think we begin with the most questions that show up is what is intermediate class?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great question. So how many of y'all here have done beginning? Like has almost everybody done a beginning class or not really? Just one person?
I think many.
Most of them
Copy.
already joined.
Most have
Yeah.
done beginning, right? So then it makes sense to explain what intermediate is. Okay.
Yes.
So in the beginning class, you basically opened up, like you've taken that big step and said yes to talking to entities and to opening up your capacities with talking to entities. Now, if you've noticed, confirm, it sounds like you might have switched to a different language. That's okay, right? I got a notification, sorry. Yeah. So in the beginning, you have said yes to talking to entities, and you may have noticed that you still have questions, that now that you've said yes, there are all these other questions that are going to come in. Now that you've started like talking to entities, you're starting to get a little bit more awareness of how talk to entities is for you and how your reality with talk to the entities is. You'll start getting more questions, more curiosity, more questions basically. And it's so let me go back. So beginning, and so the entire talk to the entities curriculum has 4 things, right? So you have, first part is clearing, and we all know that now, like how to clear, right? So you have who were you before that, that one, right? After clearing, you have communication. A part of the communication you've already begun in, like in talk to the entities beginning. You have the entire chart. You've hopefully you're doing your business hours. Um, because it's interesting. Some people kind of do the class and then forget about it, and then it becomes interesting in your worlds. But if you have been doing your business hours and you've been really looking at talk to the entities, you'll realize that, oh, now you have other questions. So you've started your journey in communication. Then we've got cooperation and receiving. Both go hand in hand. A little bit of this is already tackled, not tackled, but sort of introduced in beginning. You're now just getting receiving and like receiving cooperation is a little further down your journey and talk to the entities as if you've done only beginning, correct? So now the intermediate class is your bridge between the beginning and your advanced class that comes in later. Okay, so all those questions that you had after your beginning class, all those doubts, the new things that have shown up are answered in that intermediate. And it's also this bridge, it's to get you into this non-defined world of receiving and cooperation, so that when you actually enter advanced class, you're you know what you're coming in for, which channel. Okay, so the intermediate class is like the bridge. It has its own manual, basically. It has all these other different topics. And we go a little more deeper into communication. We clear a lot more in communication if it's still hazy, if you're still, and this is like a journey for me, for everybody. Okay, so it's not like once you do intermediate, everything will be clear. It's part of the journey towards becoming more and more clear about what are you doing when you're talking to entities. Okay, so it's the bridge, it's that missing link between your beginning class and your advanced class. Okay, so we go deeper into communication and we go deeper into receiving. And any other questions you may have? I hope that makes it a little clearer.
Ada pertanyaan nggak? Or did Khushboo speak too fast?
Yes, now I'm wondering if I spoke too fast. Can someone tell me if I'm Ninta, am I okay with my pace for translation?
Ninta still in the English the interpreter. Buat bicara klik yang original. Nah,
Well, everywhere you think I'm too fast, can we please uncreate and destroy it all? Please, please.
that's wrong with that.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
was puppets
Right
and
on with
beyond.
that upper online shots, boys, provides and beyond. Everywhere you think language is a barrier here, can we please uncreate and destroy it all? Please. Oh, please.
Right with that. Puppets and beyond.
What will it take for you to relax and receive energetically? Because you are receiving. What will it take for you to know that you know that you know? Okay. And everything that doesn't allow that, can we please uncreate and destroy it all?
Yes, right, wrong with that. Pop online shots was puppets and beyonds.
What if you're even faster than me? Or whatever you think fast is. Okay. So everything that is, can we please uncreate and destroy it all?
Yes, right, wrong with that. Pop online shots was puppets and beyonds.
Language does not need to be a barrier. What can we receive beyond words? Okay. And now just relax. The more you relax, you'll be able to sort of hear me and the entities. Cool. And then any questions?
Ada pertanyaan?
Does anyone
Not
have
yet. Not yet, I think.
So Khushboo, would you like to talk more about fear when after class, uh, participants still have fears about talking to the entity, even though all the journey they already come through and nothing to fear, but they still holding on to fears on the entities.
Yeah. So fear is like a reaction that you have, right? That's a reaction that you've learned to have.
Yeah, fear about unknown.
Yeah. So there's a
Yeah,
presumptive reality, right? So there is a presumption first, which is, oh my God, entity, oh shit. You know, like you already have all these presumptions about whatever that is, that entity is. Okay. Because you can't see it. You can't necessarily see it like how you see people. But just because you can't see it, there are all these presumptions. And more often than not, the presumptions about entities is that it's wrong, that it's scary, that they can do something to me, that I don't know what I'm talking to or who I'm talking to. And the presumption is that you don't trust yourself. So then after that presumption comes your entire reaction, right? The second thing. So there's a presumptive reality that leads to need for reactive realities. So now you have all of these presumptions, and then your need for reaction with entities most of the times is then fear. Okay.
yeah,
So it's a learned behavior, because how many of us are taught to relax when you perceive an entity? What you've seen in movies, what you've heard in stories, in our cultures is fear. Okay, so that's the first thing. It's just something you've learned. Okay, and one of the ways it eventually will go away if you just learn to sort of catch when that fear comes and not buy into it. And one of the first tools that I used, because believe me, I resisted entities for all my life. Okay, to the point that I got so scared. I used to sleep in my parents' rooms. Like I this is a little embarrassing, but like early 20s, I slept in my parents' room because I was so scared. Every day morning, every day night, I would go and then be like, I'm going to sleep alone today in my room, etc., etc. And then it'll be like 1, 2 in the night, and I will perceive entities, and I'll run down the stairs, and I'll be in my parents' room like every single day. So I get that fear, and I get how real it seems, and how that was the only way to deal with the unknown, with something that you can't see, with something that no one's given you conscious education about, right? So it's all this, it's oh shit, is your reaction, and has been your reaction for a while. So one of the first tools I actually started using was interesting point of view, right? So if I got into that space where I perceive an entity, okay, and there was instant reaction of fear, I just went, interesting point of view, interesting point of view, interesting point of view, interesting point of view, interesting point of view. I did that till I could relax, okay, not as a rejection. I didn't do interesting point of view of who does this belong to as this rejection, how a lot of people do that with rejection, or we also do it sometimes, and like, I don't know who does this belong to, go away. But that'll stop working after some time. uh, So I kept repeating interesting point of view till that reaction went away. So till that fear went away, because until I have a reaction, I can't really be present, and I won't be able to actually take the action steps. Okay. And dealing with entities that way created a lot of issues in my life in terms of physical, emotional, the fact that I couldn't sleep alone, like lots of weird things. So in my case, I had to get over fear so that I have a functional life.
Experience. Because the funny thing is, in after class, there is someone mentioned that I'm not afraid if I see ghosts, like what kind I know, like we know pocong here, or tuyul, or something with a white gown. Yeah. But after the TTE class, suddenly I just realized that all the gown is fake. All the small people is fake. So I don't really know who I will meet and what I will meet. And that makes me afraid.
Yeah. Wow. So not trusting what you know, right? So again, these are all distractors, by the way. So
Yeah.
this is
Uh,
from doubt.
unknowing that we'll see, or knowing some things that you not know before, that makes them scared.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, you just don't. So here's the thing, fear and doubt. If you're doubting what you're aware of, okay,
It's a
both,
distractor implant.
they're all distracted implants. So you walk in pod, the distracted implants. And secondly, your mind doesn't know, but you know. So, I mean, so are you willing to receive beyond what you can conceptualize?
Yes. And that is the bridge on the intermediate class, right?
Yeah. Like to really, are you willing to receive beyond concepts and beyond what your mind can conceive is real? Because if you want to do advanced class, if you want to like really have ease with talk to the entities, you will have to get to a place where you're willing to receive beyond what your mind can conceive. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And that receiving. Some of us, including me before, long time ago, I want to receive, but if pain, I stop.
But if what?
I want to receive,
Yeah.
but if pain is painful, I stop. I
So
want to receive, but if you ugly,
but
I
it is
stop.
like it's too much and it's too uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
want to receive, but if you're too many, I stop.
well, and this may sound cheesy, but can it like would an infinite being, is there anything like an infinite being cannot handle?
Yeah,
And it may sound like, like something access people say, would an infinite being, but like Why do I have to deal with 1,000 entities? You don't have to deal with 1,000 entities. You don't have to do anything. You just have to be willing to be aware, because the pain is not because you are aware, like there are 1,000 of them. The pain is because you are resisting your awareness of, because you have decided 1,000 is too much.
Yeah.
Okay. So everything that is, can you please unclean, destroy it all?
Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, but for Paul and George was prophets and vians.
Because you're not just aware of 1,000, you're aware of so many. And we live in countries that are densely populated. You really think 1,000 entities is too much? You're aware of so much more. It's your resistance that is actually going to create the pain. Yeah. Everything's the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything's the opposite of what it appears to be. Nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. And then step into the unknown. Because it's just unknown to the mind. It's known to you because you know.
If you're afraid to step into the unknown, what's I forgot. Nin, apa namanya? Stepping to the unknown. Kartun anak.
For Frozen.
Frozen 2.
All right, the stuff. But like, you are here. You're in the free talk, like for talk to the entities, and most of you all have done beginning. Are you really afraid of the unknown? And like, is that even real? Like, if you were really afraid of the unknown, you wouldn't even, according to me, you wouldn't even be here. Like, why would you have done bars? Or why would you, like, all of it is unknown.
Yeah,
It's
because that is
all of
unknown.
it is something that you couldn't rationalize. So I think it's a lie if we keep telling ourselves, I'm afraid of the unknown. In fact, I think it's super exciting for humanoids. Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes.
fear and excitement feels the same in your body.
Feels the same.
So
Because the clue is, if
Yeah.
you're afraid to go traveling, maybe it's synchronized if you mention that I'm afraid to the unknown, because traveling is going to the unknown. Going somewhere place is going to the unknown. Learning something new, like learning access, learning bars, learning talk to the entity beginning is learning something new, is a learning something that you unknown. Yeah. So if you still mentions that you are afraid with unknown things, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's excitement that you are told is wrong, is wrong. Don't go excitement. It's afraid. And then you believe that it is afraid.
Yeah. So the one thing to ask is really, am I afraid? Because first of all, that's a distractor. It's not real. Okay. So is this really fear? Is this a reaction, or is this me being excited? And whatever is light is true for you. If it's a reaction, you have the tools to get over it. If it
Yeah.
is exciting, like go for it. Like just dive in and have fun. So are you willing to receive beyond what you can conceive? Then come to intermediate. But if you really want
Whatever
to,
it takes.
yeah.
Whatever it is. All the goods, all the bads, including all the pain.
Yeah. And what if we started to have fun with it, like what is bad? What if you were just curious? Like just look at it, like just as a thing. Like if there's a demon standing in front of a tree, does the tree go all crazy? Like just, and for me, trees are beings, like pretty much. So does nature go crazy if there's like a bad entity or like a evil, like, or is it just being? Right? So, and from there, how much more will be available to you? So like nothing can actually do anything, even if it is a demon. So are you willing to have that ease, that curiosity, that adventure, that absolute, like, oh my God, Like imagine, just like take a moment and look at that world of like no definitions. Like the spirit kingdom is huge, is humongous. It's not just like 4 entities or 5 entities. There's so much more. There's so much more. And if you were curious about it, how much more would you receive like as the gift of being alive on planet Earth?
Yes. Any questions? Halo Edwin, Lucy, Tirta.
Am I still very fast?
No,
Yeah,
you good.
Yane, all right.
Angel, Lin, V, ada pertanyaan nggak? Any questions?
And it's not that, so this is the space, right? So you may not have a lot of questions today, but that's the space of intermediate. You're actually going into this space of receiving and cooperation, and something that your mind can't really like comprehend, and therefore you may not have words right now. But what if you just relaxed and received? So what are the Indonesian entities? And I'm just saying Indonesian because it is relevant. So right now, just turn your attention to all of the entities that are actually willing to gift to you that you haven't been willing to receive from because you are not willing to go beyond what you can't conceive. And everything that is, will you please unclaim, destroy it all?
Yes. Wrong, good, bad, what, all, and shorts was prophets and deals.
Take a moment, relax, and turn your attention to them rather than and ask them to show you what else is possible and relax. When you say yes with talk to the entities, a lot of people think it's going to create more of like nuisance, but it actually creates a level of peace.
Yeah, agree. Peace, abundance, and joy.
And lots of space.
Yeah.
Because talk to the entities is not giving you a new ability. It's not suddenly giving you ability to talk to entities. Guess what? You already are. It's just extremely confused and unconscious based on how much you've said yes to and based on how much you're willing to turn to your awareness. So all of those sounds and those noises, is it actually you or is it just stuff you're aware of? So it's talk to the entities is not giving you a new ability. It's only giving you tools to have ease with your ability. And that brings in this peace. So the beginning is, when you've said yes, and it's like, it may feel like, oh my God, a lot of things are happening, but that's because it's like, it's there in your manual in the beginning as well. When there's a dam, okay, that's put up, a dam, and suddenly the dam breaks, there's like a gush of water, right? Before it settles down. So after beginning, you may feel that rush, but that's because you've been like really blocking a lot of things out. So you may feel that overwhelm, but you keep going, it then calms down and then relaxes, and then you can receive from everything.
Yeah.
And I think David can agree with me. Like the more I've done TTTE, the more like I've been a TTT facilitator for years now, which is one of the reasons why I can do intermediate. I also work with Shannon and TTT. The more I work with it, there's actually more space, not more. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's usually we think the other way around. Like that was the one reason, like that's the reason I used to tell myself, you know what, if I do TTT, that's it. That's all I'll be doing, talking to entities all day long and not having any, like they'll be all over me and I will have no choice. So everything that is, can we please unclaim, destroy it all?
Yes, right. Wrong, good, bad, what, all, and shorts was prophets and deals.
But
The progress between the
Sorry.
progress between the first business hour and the third And the fourth year business hours is totally different.
And it's starting for me, when I was resisting it and when I had that fear, there was less choice with my ability. There's less choice.
Yeah, yeah.
Like any and all entities could just like come in and do whatever. But the more I said yes to it, there is now more choice and therefore more peace. It's my choice. It's not like it's what will it take for you to have choice with this, like true choice and everything, and not that you're at the effect of entities or talking to entities all the time and everything that is. Can you please again destroy all?
Yes. That good bad thought of all and short first prophets and beyonds. And also the body informations about it, entities and the energies. Long time before, usually before earthquake or flood, usually body gives up not pleasant informations like tension headache or rash in my face or pain in around my body. But the more business hour I do, the more less informations and the more ease it becomes. I just know there is earthquake, but no pain, no headache, no tension headache. My body just there is an earthquake. Okay, I just sleep, and it's so fine. It's so nice, and it's so peaceful for me. It's so peaceful because usually I got tension headache and I drink medicines, and now I just feel sleepy and okay, earthquake. I'm ready.
Well, exactly. So a lot of the pain that you have because of your awareness of entities is your resistance to your
This
awareness,
bit, yeah.
not really the entity in itself. Yeah. So what will it really take to step into more ease, more joy, more possibilities with entities so that there's true peace in your world? And then, like, imagine the changes you can bring about in Indonesia, in the world. Like, I see that in India, ever since TTTE entered India, which was many years back, every year, because of the amount of TT classes and all of the CFs and everybody who's been at work clearing entities, I can see how much lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter the country is getting. Is it like the lightest? No, because we're a lot of people still, but like, but the changes that you can therefore create are like, if you'd like to, are can really affect everything in your country, in your culture, and beyond, and your future. So, what gift are you that you've been refusing to be, that if you said yes to, would actually bring in the peace that you've been asking for?
Yeah.
And that doesn't allow that. Can you please not destroy it all?
Yes. Right. Wrong, good, bad, what talk on and short first prophets and beyonds.
Oh.
Yes, Poppy.
No?
Oh,
Oh, thank you, Poppy, so much for being here. I always like it when you're around. Great. So, is that it? Is there anything else anybody would like to know?
ada yang mau bertanya nggak? Kalau takut bertanya dalam bahasa Inggris, bilang bahasa Indonesia, nanti kita bantu terjemahkan.
I will ask question to Khushboo.
Yeah.
Actually, like it's been in my head for so many years. I know you for years. You once said like, without access, you're gonna die. Can you explain what's your experience previously before access? I also wanted to ask you that.
Well, I think my internet is being a little weird. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, yes, clear.
Yeah, clear.
Well, that's a great question because honestly, until I found access, I couldn't look at a future that I was excited about enough to be waking up every day and going like, yeah, I'm here. all the possible futures that I could think about were extremely boring for me. So I would have pretty much given up because like this shit doesn't work. Something needs like big needs to show up as my life and living, like as the quality, the depth, and also everything. So till I got my bars run, I honestly couldn't, that everything just seemed really boring and full of drama and full of trauma, which was boring for me. That was never a source of entertainment for me. Like I was always like, I couldn't really see all those drama serials in India and stuff like that. It was always boring. And all of the things that I could conceive of as a future were all boring. But when I started getting my bars run, all these other futures that I couldn't even conceive of, but I had the energies, like I could perceive that, you know, that something, that beautiful energy underneath all my asks that I've been asking for can actually start coming into actualization as my life started becoming a possibility in my world. So, and that for me was important to want to live on this planet. So that's the gift that access has been for me, and that's the gift that TTT has been for me. Just this possibility that something else is actually possible. Like we don't have to keep doing the same shit again and again, again and again, again and again. I think a lot of us are bored. So what else is truly possible started being a conceivable reality beyond my mind. And I didn't want to kill myself anymore. As a thank you for that question. And I would like to like even look at yourself, like, you know, why, like look at you when you're just before you got your bars done for the first time. That person that you were then and today, like
Oh, different. A lot.
how
A
different,
lot. It's
different
not a grumpy, crying, and poppy. It's totally different. It's totally different.
How different are you? And like, if anybody gave you like $1 billion to go back to that, would you actually
No.
take? You'd be like, fuck this shit. I would like, it's not relevant, right? So, so that's.
You should see Ninta before access.
I mean, you should see all of us. You should have seen me before access. It's just, I can't even remember. Anyway, so, but again, it's not about making this all about access. Please follow what you know. This is something that has worked for me and it continues to do. So
Yes.
follow what you know, follow what works for you, follow what's light for you. And I always ask the question, if I choose this, what will my life be like in the next 5 years? And I really asked those two questions. If I choose this, what will my life be like in the next 5 years? And if I don't choose this, what will my life be like in the next 5 years? And that which is light is what I do my best to follow. So what else is possible? What do you know is possible? What have you always known that you're pretending not to know, that you're calling it unknown because your stupid mind can't conceive it? Would you please unclean, destroy it all?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, wrong, that, what, walk on, and shots, first, pockets, and beyonds.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I hope I made like sense, and just keep listening to it. I'm sure you'll be able to hear me eventually. Great. Anything else? Yes, Siska. You don't need to
Okay.
use your.
Thank you, Khushboo. I just wonder, you've been facilitating class for years. Do you
Yeah.
still feel pain regarding to the talk to the entities until now?
Do I still feel pain? Is that what you said?
Yes. Because you've been facilitating class for years.
Yeah. Yes, there are moments when I'm resisting again because I've decided something about something that then it like shows up mainly as like a psychic pain than a physical pain for me.
Yeah.
And then I've learned to ask, It doesn't happen that often now, but then I've learned to ask, okay, wait, hold on. If I don't make this real, what is this? Am I aware of entities? Is this something else? What's going on? And then I've learned to ask a question and catch it. So I'm not saying that, oh, I'm pain-free and every day is just like, whoa. No, there are still days where you have, the ebbs and flows, but it doesn't last too long. The pain that used to last for like days on ends, it doesn't last too long because I now remember to ask a question. Even if not immediately, but at least maximum more than 10 minutes. And I'm like, okay, wait, something's up, I'm not going to make this relevant now. Wait, hold on. And then I'll ask a question and then move in that direction. But pain is always an intensity of awareness you're not willing to have. So when there is a sudden rush of like awareness because I've done something big and I want to like, that's when I know it's painful. But now I've learned to ask a question so that it doesn't last for too long. I definitely can't say I'm pain-free yet. And what else is possible?
Me too. But at least now Panadol free. At least. At least remember questions first before Panadol.
Thank you.
Panadol is paracetamol.
I got it. I figured.
Yeah. Before tension headache or hypertension medication first and ask.
Yeah, exactly. And that is what it is. Now, and either I'll get my bars run or I'll ask a question, I'll get facilitated, I'll attend a class and listen to a loop. But I listen, but I know it's an awareness. Awesome. Great questions, everybody.
Any questions, Shirley? Yeah, please.
Okay. Hi, Khushboo. Nice to meet you online. I was a bit late when I joined this Zoom. So do you mind if you explain it like what's in the intermediate class by any chance, please?
You can listen to the recording.
Oh, okay. There will be recording.
Yes, there will be a recording. But quick,
Okay.
let you know, it's like the missing link between the beginning and your advanced class.
Mhm.
So all the questions that you have now that you need answered, you can come in and ask in intermediate. We go deeper into receiving, communication, cooperation. It has its own manual. It has all these other topics, native land, clearing houses, creating bodies for entities, and like lots of other topics. It has its own manual, basically. So that's what it is. Quickly, because I've already sort of answered this, so you can go back and listen to it. But it's your missing link. It's your bridge between beginning and advanced.
And advance.
When
Okay.
you open up. So what is the one thing that you know that you want to like open up even more and have more clarity about in TTT? Today, if I ask you.
Oh, not sure yet. Like I just feel like wondering like what's in this class and all that. And then just like the practicality, like how long is it gonna be? Like the class wise? Like one day?
The class is just 4 to 5 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's like a deep dive. Like because you've already done beginning, so we like dive into this. Dive into intermediate, dive into communication, cooperation, and receiving.
Mhm.
Get ready for the advanced class if you so choose to do it in the future.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you.
And you can listen to the recordings.
Yeah, will do.
Any other questions?
Ada pertanyaan?
And like with any access class, I can tell you this is what is covered. But there's so much more that I can't put into words. that you just have to step into it energetically. And so one of the ways I really do that is to ask, what will my life be like in the next 5 years if I choose this? My life and my body. And what would my life be like in the next 5 years if I don't choose this? Because there's so much more that can get cleared as with any access class. Like I can, what do you do in foundation? This. Like there's only so much that we can explain, right, David? And then there's all this other stuff.
And there is beautiful stories behind the intermediate, right? Can you tell them about why
Yeah.
intermediate show up again last year, I think? That
Yeah.
Shannon renounced again that intermediate will show up again.
Yeah. So many years back, I don't think either of us were facilitators, but many years back, intermediate was actually already there. So there was always a beginning, an intermediate, and an advanced. Then over years, for some reason, there stopped being intermediate and there was only beginning and advanced. And then about a year and a half to 2 years back, Shannon announced an advanced class, or Talk to the Entities advanced class. And usually Talk to the Entities advanced class like have like registrations like this. Like it's not something that you need to really work on. But this class just wasn't moving. So Shannon started asking a few questions, and then TTTE basically spoke to her. So Talk to the Entities went like, intermediate class. You need to have the intermediate class again. And so then Shannon reintroduced intermediate class, like the manual. The manual is always all already sitting there. There was a little bit of an update. And as soon as she announced the intermediate class, like everything started moving. The advanced class, the intermediate class started like having lots of participants because that's what TTT required. That's what people required before they even came to advanced class. So that's how it was restarted. Just I think about a year and a half to 2 years back.
Yeah. Because I also experienced TTE beginning, advanced, turbo, CF, and then intermediate. And it opens up a new space of receiving for me. It opens up a new space of receiving. Usually I'm going through discomfort first, little bit pain, and remember questions. And after intermediate class, questions first and none of the discomfort. I just wonder, mine still, maybe it's from the class, or maybe because I'm practice, or mine just looking for the answer. But I know after the intermediate that Shannon put into the prereq for the next, it changed a lot. The space become available that I can go through without any discomfort.
And you're correct. That's what happened. Like,
Yeah, it's bridging receiving beyond the minds.
which is the energy of intermediate, right? So I can tell you that it has all these topics, and yet are you willing to receive beyond what you can conceive?
Yes.
Because that'll make the rest of the journey so much easier, because after that is a complete undefined way that has no
Yeah.
man but just you.
There is a one participant want to asking a questions. Yes, Maya.
Okay. Can you guys give me a clearing first? Because it's the beginning of the Zoom, suddenly my brain is blank.
Sure.
Please.
Is it blank or is it space?
Space.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Okay. I've been wondering, like, what is the benefit if we take this intermediate class? What will we gain as the TTE in this class? What will we gain? And then earlier you said about we're gonna learn deeper about the clearing, right? can you give us like what the example, like this is the beginning and this is the intermediate, so we have the knowledge to differentiate. Oh, this is what will you gain, this is what will happening. Yeah, sneak peek, like when in the movie, like a little bit sneak peek, so we get more. Thank you.
I think this whole thing was a little sneak peek into how intermediate is going to be. So let me start with where you started. I feel like I'm blank. It's actually space, right? And then you're like, wait, this is space. And then you're like, no, but wait, I need to fill it up by defining exactly what I'm going to get in intermediate and exactly what I'm. So I know that. So let me not enjoy this space, but let me. So everything that is, can you please okay to start on?
Yes.
You don't
First
need
word
language.
consonants,
You
first
just
word
need
proposition.
sound. Sure, yeah. Ah, you'll get more space, also more clarity in communication. Like if you have any place in your area where you're still confused about, are you communicating? Who are you communicating with? Is this actually happening? Is it not happening? If you have any doubts in that area, you can come and ask more questions there. And then we also go into house, like land clearing, native land clearing, portals, land portals, this, that. There are all these topics. Okay.
Humans, I think, also more clearing on that specific topics, right?
Yeah, like specific entities with PTSD, death spirits, clearing houses, native land, land that was raped, war zones, forms of communication, formal communication, informal communication, receiving, obviously, sex with entities, creating bodies for entities. So all these are the topics that we cover. And then there is that space of having space and more receiving where you can actually ask for anything else.
Okay, yesterday when my daughter doing her business hour, she was asking me this question like, Mama, there's an entities, but I don't know what they want. The clearing is no, the receiving and the gifting is no, the contribution is no. So what should I do?
Yeah. So, I mean, has she done a beginning class?
Yes, with me.
Yeah. So she may want to go to the communication chart and just look at what and just really go through that chart properly. And in case she's got more questions, exactly this space, because I know this space, right? She can come to the intermediate along with you. Like, I know
She will, if, yeah.
that's exactly why that in between intermediate is, so that the stuff that happens once you've started can start getting clear, because now you have other questions and other things from your experiences that require a little bit more facilitation so that you don't go back into doubt.
Okay, and then like,
The questions
what?
that usually rare that we ask is, do you invite me to go to this class?
Yeah.
Sometimes entities also invites you to go to specific class that you have asking before, and they specifically come and invites. Sometimes we forgot to ask, do you invite me to go to this class?
And bring money.
Yes, of course. Don't forget to ask that.
And bring money.
Receive it though.
Okay. And then like one more thing, like a few months ago, like our cat was passed away, and my daughter was like, Mama, I always see that cat around the house. And then she was asking why.
Because she's aware.
I mean, like it's okay, or should we like shoo 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 shoo, or like okay, hi hi hi. She already say hi.
Like total choice. What would she like to do?
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know.
Like, what would you like to do with what you're seeing?
She said like, oh, it's okay, I'm okay. But she was wondering like, uh, don't like for after 30 days they will like move on, and why she keeps staying in this house. You know, kids, they have tons of questions.
And they're great questions. And
Yeah,
what if
yeah.
so? And but what if she learns to tap into her awareness now rather than asking you the question? Just like I would just, if I had a child who had like all these questions and they're turning to me for an answer, I would pretty much just really ask her, what do you know?
Mm.
And ask the cats, what do you want me to know?
Ah, okay. Great question. I will tell her tonight during her business hour.
Hi, Anaya.
Have you been speaking about have you been speaking about her right now?
Yes, yes, yes. That's her. The
Lovely.
queen of the question.
That's a gift. That's an absolute gift. Except the way we're taught in schools is we ask questions to for like to get an answer from someone or from something. So that's so rather than from someone from something, it's more like, okay, so you ask her a question when she asks you a question. So what do you know?
Mm.
What do you,
Okay.
what are you aware of here? Because I'm stupid. I don't know too much. I mean, no. I would say that to my kid. Look, you clearly are asking questions that I have never bothered to ask, and therefore I don't know. But you can tap into your knowing now. Just what do you know?
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, Fatu.
All right. Good evening, Dr. David, Miss Khushboo.
Good evening.
To be honest, I'm not even sure whether I should be in this class or not because I haven't taken the TTE beginning class. But I'd like to have some question. Interestingly, I just ran boss to not this evening for my friends, and she had a very interesting reaction, like suddenly dancing and standing, and it seems that she's really having issues controlling herself. But I'm not sure whether the cause is because she was controlled by her inner self, or should I say shadow, or is it because she was controlled by the entity? Because if I did some demon clearings on her, and for some reason it kind of works and she starts to calm down. So I guess my simple question is, how do we differentiate between the cause, whether it was caused by inner self, or is it caused by entities? I think that's about it. Thank you, Dr. David, Dr. Miss Khushboo.
You can say doctor. I just forget to write it everywhere. Um, that's an interesting question because we weren't there. But as soon as you said that she started dancing, it all seemed really joyful to us and not really wrong. Yeah. So, but neither of us were there to tell you what that was. From the way you said, like she started dancing, it almost sounded like she's joyful, and let her be. Why do you want to control her again?
Uh,
I would
I'm
just
not sure it was very joyful because she was crying before dancing.
fall.
She was crying
So,
first and then
if you
started
get
dancing.
awareness, if you get an awareness, so the only way you can get an awareness what this is by asking question like, is this entities or is this something else?
Yeah.
And then you have to follow what you
It
know.
was cut.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
The only way to get awareness is by asking, is this entities or
Yeah.
is this something else?
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't assume it's all entities
Oh,
Yeah.
anytime.
yeah.
And those
So
4 questions from your bar's manual, what is this? What do I
what
do?
is this? Do this? Can I change it? Yes.
If you get a yes, if so,
Yes. Yeah. If so, how can I change it? Yeah.
and really be in that question. What if none of
Oh,
that was
yeah. I see, I see.
Begin here, but neither of us were there to tell you.
Yeah,
more.
I see, I see. So it depends on how I'm aware of the situation itself.
The 4
Yeah.
questions are great. Just don't assume that whatever is showing up is wrong.
Yeah, don't start with conclusion. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I see, I see. Okay, okay. Thank you, Miss Khushboo.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, time is up. So Fatur is the last questions that we have. So we need to close these sessions. And do you have last quotes or last statement that you want to say, Khushboo?
Well, no, just all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. What if all of spirit world also came to you with ease, joy, and glory? And I hope to meet you guys very soon. Like, I'm quite excited actually to come to Jakarta. This would be my first time. Hopefully, I get to see a lot of you all in person and what else is possible. But all of life, including the spirit world, comes to me with ease, joy, and glory.
Yes. So everyone that wants to join the class, talk to the entity intermediate will be held on, Siska, do you remember the date?
Yes, it will be held on the 18th of May. It's in Jakarta, so we plan to have it in La Maison Oakwood. It is on the south of Jakarta.
Yeah.
So please, you can contact me or Minta or Poppy or else Santi or Dr. David as well. So please contact us for more information. Thank you.
Yes. And if you also have a questions and you are not joining this Zoom, please click join to the WhatsApp group that Khushboo also there. And you can ask anything before the class. And if you would like to join the class, please let me know. Okay. Thank you for attending, and we will see you later somewhere, someplace in the class or not in the class. Bye.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.